بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله مولانا العظيم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد طب القلوب ودوائها وعافية الأبدان وشفائها ونور الأبصار وضيائها وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Due to some technical difficulties, unfortunately, I was delayed in coming on till now, and now the time is very limited till Surat Al-Maghrib. So, inshallah, we will discuss some aspects of the basic Fiqh of Ramadan in today's session, and then hopefully, inshallah, we can manage to cover some further details in the coming week. In relation to this blessed month of Ramadan and its virtue, it is mentioned in a hadith of Al-Imam Ahmad and other scholars of hadith who narrate from Abdullah bin Amr radiyallahu anhuma that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "As-siyamu wal-Qur'anu yashfa'ani lil-'abdi yawm al-qiyamah," that the fast and the Qur'an will both intercede for a servant on the Day of Judgment. يقول الصيام, the fast will say, أي رب منعته الطعام والشهوات بالنهار. The fast will say, "Oh my Lord, I stopped this person from eating and from doing things that he wanted to do during the day. فشفعني فيه, so give me the ability to do dua and save him, right, to intercede for him on this blessed day, on the Day of Judgment." ويقول القرآن, and the Quran will say, منعته النوم بالليل, I stopped him from from sleeping in the night. فشفعني فيه, so grant me intercession for him. قال فيشفعان, so Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said they will both be given the ability to intercede. They'll be given the permission to intercede for the servant. So from this we establish that the sacrifice that we make in the month of Ramadan, so many of us will be worried about how will we fast, how will we stop eating and drinking for so many hours, how can we spend the night listening and reading the Holy Quran. In this year we have the difficulty of the masajid being closed to the wider public. So many masajid will not have the usual system of tarawih, recitation of the Holy Quran. But when we usually have the recitation of the Holy Quran in this way, we find that many people find it difficult to stand listening to the Holy Quran, whilst others have such passion that they will travel for many miles to perform salah behind somebody who recites the Quran in a beautiful way, so that they can hear the full recitation of the Holy Quran. Alhamdulillah, many households will have huffaz of the Holy Quran. They will have people within their houses who know the Quran off by heart. And they are encouraged to still continue the recitation of the Holy Quran and the completion of the recitation of the Holy Quran within the Tarawih Salah. So unfortunately, due to the time restrictions and the delay coming online today, I will not manage to cover everything that I wish to. We will make a start, inshallah, before Surat Al-Maghrib. In terms of the basic rules of fast, what is fast? What is it? What is Sawm? So first of all, the fast has a few names. In English we know it as fast. In Urdu we call it roza, and the same with Farsi, in Persian. In Arabic it's called Sawm. Within the Islamic rulings, the fast has its own definition, meaning what is Sawm is given a definition by the ulama of Islam. It's described by the scholars as stopping yourself during the day from allowing anything purposely or forgetfully into your stomach or into your brain. And this stopping is done with intention. In a famous work that the students of Al-Markaz Islami learn, Mukhtasar al-Quduri, it mentioned هو الإمساك عن الأكل والشرب نهارا مع النية, that fasting is to stop eating and drinking and jama' and having marital relations naharan, during the day, with the intention. So one thing is that a person didn't eat or drink because he was busy. He didn't manage to eat or drink all day long. Then sometime when they come back and they say, well, I've had a roza today, I've been fasting today, I've not managed to eat or drink anything. But that's just a metaphor, it's a joke that they make. But the reality is that in order for that to be a fast, there had to be an intention there. So it's no good not just stopping eating and drinking, but rather the person also needs to have the intention of not eating and drinking. So in the night, during the night when we eat the suhoor, we make intention that we will not eat or drink anything. The technical definition that I gave earlier, that is stopping from allowing anything from entering the stomach or the brain. And that is because it's not just through the mouth that things reach the stomach or the brain, but rather other aspects of the body also allow nutrition to reach the stomach or the brain. For example, the nose, or if a person has an open wound and they allow some nutrition in, right, into the stomach. So if nutrition reaches the stomach through these means, then that means that the person is not fasting. If he started his fast is broken. So basically, a fast is that you do not eat or drink or have marital relations during the day with the intention. In terms of who is the fast fard upon, the scholars have mentioned that this intention is fard upon the person who is Muslim, the person who is sane, the person who is adult, and the person who has entered into Islam knowing the rules of Islam, living in an environment where Islamic knowledge is widely available. That would be a rare occasion where if somebody was in a non-Muslim country in the past and they just entered into Islam, they'd understood the beauty of Islam, and they did not have any access to knowledge, then they would eventually reach the awareness about the rulings of the fast. So the first 3 points are more important for the listeners to understand, that the fast is fard upon the Muslim, the fast is fard upon the one who is sane, the one who is not insane, he has sanity, and the one who is adult. In order for the fast to be valid, the person has to be, for example, especially the sisters, they have to be free from certain states, that if they were in those states, then they would not be able to fast. So even if they make the intention, the fast would not be valid. We will be discussing, inshallah, about the fast of those who are ill or those who are traveling as we reach those rulings. In order for the fast to be valid, there has to be intention there. As we've already mentioned, in the very definition of the fast is discussed that it is stopping from eating and drinking and having marital relations with the intention. So the intention has to be there. And in order to elaborate on this further, when would the person need to make the intention? Right? When would intention be necessary upon the person? So in order to understand that, we need to understand that there are different types of fasts. There are the necessary fast, the fard, which is Ramadan, the fast of Ramadan. You have the wajib fast, which is, for example, if somebody said that if such and such occurred, then I will fast out of gratefulness for that, which is called nadhr. That's an example of where it's wajib. You have the masnoon, you have the sunnah fast, for example, the fast of Mondays and Thursdays generally, or the fast of the day of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram al-Haram, along with one day extra with that. You have the nafil fasts, which encompass some of those that are established from the sunnah as well. And anything that a person does out of happiness, you can fast as long as it's not a day that is one's forbidden from fasting. You can make nafil fasts generally throughout the year. Now, because you have these different types of fasts, and for us approaching Ramadan, the one that matters in terms of the one that we want to understand at this moment in time is the fast of Ramadan. When do you need to make the intention for the fast of Ramadan? So although it's best to make the intention during the night, but if a person did not manage to make the intention during the night, now what is intention? Intention is the name of what is in the heart. Intention is the plan and the aim and the desire within the heart. So intention is not the words that come out of our mouth, but rather the state of our hearts. So when we are eating suhoor, and we know that tomorrow is the first of Ramadan, then when we're eating the suhoor, when we're eating the early morning food, the night food just before the fast starts, it's clear to us that we are intending to fast. That's why we're eating the suhoor. It was in our hearts that we're going to fast. We have odd occasions where people don't eat suhoor. For example, after Isha, they've fallen asleep. Now, those people who would miss Fajr are very unfortunate, right? And we would not expect a Muslim to miss Salatul Fajr. So the example we will give is where the person wakes up for Fajr Salah. But when he wakes up for Fajr Salah, the day has already started. When we defined what is fast, we have already discussed that the fast is that the person stop eating, drinking and having marital relations during the day with intention. Now when his day has already started, the time of Fajr has already started, can he now make intention at the time of Fajr? So because this is the fast of Ramadan, in relation to the fast of Ramadan, the scholars of the Hanafi Fiqh have mentioned that the person can make intention even after Salatul Fajr has started, so long as he makes the intention of the fast of Ramadan before what we call Nisfun Nahar Shari'i. Nisfun Nahar Shari'i means before the makruh time during the day starts, which is the midday, that time of the day when reading Salah is makruh. Now, that is something that we also have to discuss in the fiqh of Salah. When is Nisfun Nahar? You have two types of days within the terminology of Sharia. You have the day, in terms of daytime, is from sunrise to sunset. This is the day that we call the An-Nahar Urf, meaning the public would call that daylight. That as soon as the sun has risen, daylight has started. And when it sets, day has finished. But when it comes to So that's one type of day. And the other type of day is the Nisfun Nahar Shar'i. When does the Shar'i day start? The Shar'i day starts when Fajr time starts, meaning when true dawn occurs, Subh al-Sadiq occurs. At that time, the Shar'i day starts and it finishes at sunset. You have 2 days, therefore, 2 times of daylight. One is from dawn, when we stop eating suhoor, when we have suhoor end, sahri end. That is a beginning to daylight, but that's according to what we call in terminology of fiqh, nisfun nahar, the an-nahar shar'i. And in terms of an-nahar urfi, the general day that's understood by the public, that's when sunrise occurs till sunset. Now you have 2 middays then. You have the halfway mark from the time when Fajr started till sunset. You have how many hours was that and what's in between. The time that's in between that is known as the time when the makruh time started. Meaning, when you work out how many hours there are between Fajr start time and Maghrib, and you half that. When you half that, then the time in which you cannot perform Salah has started. And it is this time that you would have to avoid, you'd have to make sure that you've done intention before that. Now, in terms of all that explanation that I've done, and we've entitled this Back to Basics. So some of you will be, how is this back to basics when you're explaining this, which is a bit technical. So to make it very basic for you, all you would do is you would check the valid and authentic timetables, and you would see when is the time of what we describe as zawal starting. When is that time of makruh time starting? As long as I make intention before that, it's fine. Who does this situation apply to? It applies to some people, unfortunately, in our community, who don't wake up for Fajr Salah, who will sleep after Isha. Some of them may forget. Unfortunately, they don't perform Fajr, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the tawfiq to carry out what is fard upon them. They then, when they wake up, say at 8, 9 o'clock, and they've forgotten that it's Ramadan, first and foremost, but before they have breakfast, they remember, oh, it's Ramadan, and, I haven't made the intention of fasting. So at 9 o'clock, they would then be able to make the intention now of the fast, and because this is before the time of Zawal has begun on the calendars. So as long as that time has not been reached, the person can make intention. Unfortunately, this is all that time has allowed me this time, but inshallah, we're eventually we will manage to overcome these technical difficulties next time, and inshallah continue the discussion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us and grant us the ability to understand and act upon the deen. Amin bijahi Nabil Kareem. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.